Welcome to Henriette Goes Live, my live class. Welcome, and it's good to see you here. I'm Henriette, and we do these classes about once a month, usually on the last Friday of every month, not always, but I try to do that to give you as a self-learner the opportunity to ask questions about your violin playing. So I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. And I'm hoping that you enjoy attending this class and that you have got some useful questions ready. So before we get started, let me just get you into a habit of using the chat, because that is how I can read your questions in the chat. You can write in the chat box. And for practice, just before we get started with our first question, I have actually created a poll, and the poll was created because somebody indicated some sort of thing that might be useful for others as well. So someone's brought this up, and I am wondering how you all feel about this. So here comes the poll, if it wants to go. Let me see. Actually, it's not working. So, do I get a poll to go? I can't get it to start. There's always a blip of some sort, isn't there? Anyway, let me first ask you if you can hear and see me properly, and then we can go and take it from there. So if you're here, say hello in the chat box. And in a moment we'll do a poll, but we'll do it in a slightly different way, shall we? So if you can see me or hear me, just give me a thumbs up in the chat box so that I know I'm not just talking to my computer, but there are actually other people that can hear me. There is usually a delay, so I'm just going to wait for a moment until I get some response from someone. Okay, so I wanted to know that whether you are ever finding it difficult to get started with your violin practice. So you might find it very easy to get started. Oh, hello, Linda. Great. Thank you very much for your response. Hello from a very wet and windy Kent. I can hear you and see you. Yes, here in Norwich, it's very wet and windy and freezing cold, and I've had the heating on this morning. I hate to say it's the end of May and we're having the heating on. So my question to you all is, do you usually find it very easy to get started and you look forward to practicing when you've set aside time to practice, or do you find it more tricky? Do you really have to push yourself to get going? Or maybe you find it easier once you get started to then continue to go. So how is this for you? Is it very easy for you to get going, or is it really, really tricky, or is it a bit in between? Once you get going, it is all right. So I'll give you a minute to answer that question. Okay, let me see. In the meantime, I'm just looking something up. Okay. So do you find it very easy to get started? Do you look forward to your practice and you think, oh, this afternoon I'm going to get started? Or do you find it very, very difficult to get going? Do you get going and then you gradually start to enjoy it? What is your situation? I would love to know that. So Linda, perhaps you can give me an idea, because we're waiting also for some more people to tune in. Now, if you are tuning into this stream a little bit later, that's absolutely fine. This live stream will stay on the channel for you to watch later. Even if you have to go early, don't worry that you'll miss it, because it will stay on the channel for you to watch later if you have to go. So let's see if we can get some response from someone. I look forward to practicing every day, and I hate it if I have to miss a day. Now, I wasn't expecting a particular answer, but obviously that is the ideal answer to this question. If you look forward to playing every day, then obviously you're enjoying it, and it's easier to get going, isn't it? And you hate it if you have to miss a day. Yes, that I can imagine that. Some people just find it much easier to get going than others. And if you find it quite easy, that is lovely. So if you have you got a fixed time when you practice? Is it always the same time every day, or have you got a certain routine that you use that helps you get going? Or have you just got a completely intrinsic desire to get started? So how does that work for you? Now, I can probably relate to what you have written in that sense that before I became a professional violinist, I found that urge to play the violin just incredible, and I was obviously going to school at the time, so I couldn't wait to get home and to get practicing. And I found it very strange when people said, I find it so hard to get going. For some people, they've just got that feeling that they must do it, and others just find that much, much more tricky. So I'm just wondering if we can find out some strategies that might help other people to get going who find it a bit more difficult. Whereas some people might really enjoy, once they get going, they might really enjoy their playing, you see. Always an early afternoon for an hour or two. Wow, an hour or two, that is amazing. That is proper practice. So how long have you been doing that for? An hour or two every day? Is this something recent, or has this been going on for a bit already? And how did it start? I can immediately put another question to that. How did it work like that? How did it evolve maybe? Or has it always been like that? So if you are coming into this stream a bit later and you're watching this from the beginning, then you might answer these questions for yourself and see how that has come about for you. Why is it that you have got into this routine that you are having, or that you're not having? And what do you think you might be able to do about it if that is a desire that you have? You want to learn to play the violin and you find it very difficult to keep going. What do you think it is you might do to make it easier for yourself to get going? I'm just waiting for more responses from more people. It may well be that it is a bit of a day today. Sometimes we have that when very few people join in, and that's okay. So if you're just joining us, welcome. We're only at the early stages of this live class, so you haven't missed a thing. And if that's you, just introduce yourself, say hi in the chat box if you're here. I can see that people are coming in, so if you are just entering this live stream, welcome. We were just chatting about how easy or how hard it is for you to get going with your practice. If you find it very, very easy, like Linda practices every day for an hour or two, every afternoon for an hour or two, and you get into a routine, and it's easier to then the next afternoon just do the same thing again, isn't it? But it doesn't work for everyone like that. So some people find it easier to leave their violins out, for instance. So you don't have to unpack it every time you want to get started, or you feel you need to get started and it's difficult. That's okay. Leave your violin out, or leave your books out, or put your favorite piece on top of your books so that when you walk past it you think, okay, I wanted to play this particular song, let's do it now. And that is probably also a thing when you feel like, I would really want to play immediately, rather than thinking, I'll finish this job first and then I'll play. Makes it a lot easier for a lot of people. So, how are you getting on with your practice? Tell us about it. Or ask me any other violin related question. That is what this whole class is about, isn't it? For you to ask questions. I've started by asking you a question, so now it's your turn. So if you're here, do join us and join in the chat, writing in the chat box, so that we get to know how easy or hard it is for you to get going once you want to play the violin. All right, now as always, people have asked me the question, what do I do to cure a shaky bow? And I'll come to that in a minute. Hello, Terry. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Now, I can't remember where you are. I have a feeling you might be in California, so it will be, early morning for you, so good morning. Linda says, since the lockdown, I first started lessons when I was 14. I gave up in my 20s because I didn't progress much. Violin put in loft for 40 years and now I've not looked back. Now, for many violins and violinists, the lockdown has maybe sort of turned into a revival of the instrument. So something good that may have come out of the lockdowns, I guess. And if you're enjoying it, that's even better. And I'm interested to hear if you feel like you are making more progress now. Obviously, adults, I always think, make more progress than teenagers. Although once the teenagers get going and they find a way to deal with this practice issue that I've brought up, if they can find a way to get going with the practice, then they will move on very, very swiftly. It's just a motivation thing, isn't it? Or a habit building thing. If you are playing every afternoon, like Linda is saying, it is so much easier to stick to that routine if you've built it up. But building up a routine is actually quite challenging for most people. So that's why I suggested, if you are one of those people who finds it very, very hard to build up that routine, is leave your violin out. Don't pack it away all the time. Yes, leave it in its case, but leave the case open somewhere where you can very easily get to it. And it's much easier. You'll find it much easier if you don't have to open the thing. This is why it's for pianists mostly. It's much easier to just play a few notes, because they can just sit behind the piano and start, rather than having to unpack everything and then tune. Obviously, we need to tune up. Faff about with the bow, putting rosin on and so on. If you do that the night before, then it's easier to get going the next day. So Terry says, the pandemic got me interested to try and practice different styles of music. Yeah. I hear that quite a lot, actually. That people want to not only play one style of music, but explore different things. And that is very good. So what kind of music do you mostly play then, Terry? Is it classical? Is it pop? Is it hip hop? Is it other songs, film tunes? What do you play? Or Linda, you can answer that question as well whilst we're at it. What kind of music do you play the most? And even now I get people that comment below some of my videos that say, I've just always wanted to play the violin, and I don't know why, and I don't know what exactly, but I just have this idea that I might like to try it. And for these guys, this is the class, because you can ask any violin related questions, and I will try and honestly give you the best answer that I can think of. A little bit of everything, mainly classical. Thank you for that comment. This is funny because a couple of years ago, before I wrote my book, I'd done a poll on YouTube because I wanted to know what sort of styles people liked to play, and the question was, what kind of style of music do you like to play? Do you like classical music? Do you like popular music? Do you like to play film tunes? Do you like to play Disney? Do you play religious music, and do you play in church? Anything that goes, and then an open question, obviously anything else or whatever you write down. And people said, actually most people play tunes they know, and next is classical tunes, and there's an overlap. Obviously some classical tunes people know, but by tunes people know is like, to my mind, it's more like tunes from films or tunes that you've heard somebody else play on the guitar or something like that. And I got this really clear analytics of people that, like, for instance, 20% of the respondents wanted to play classical music, and 27% wanted to play modern music, and like 10 or 15% wanted to play church tunes, and so on. Very clear. And then, as a coincidence, Hal Leonard phoned me and said, would you like to write a book that uses other repertoire than classical stuff? And I thought, I know exactly what to do now, because you guys, my YouTube audience, have already answered that question. How should I do it? And they said, stick exactly with what the poll has suggested. So I did exactly that. So that is why in my book, I can't see myself. That is a bit funny. In my book, I have written that sort of overview. So a number of classical pieces, a number of popular tunes, a number of film tunes, a number of religious songs, other songs that people might know, or parts of them, obviously. So, and this is funny because now it's 3-4 years later, and people comment on how nice and varied it is, and that proves to me that that poll of way back when is still valid. Now, thinking about the book, if you haven't got the book yet, you have this weekend to buy your signed copy. This was going to end today, me signing any copies if people wanted it, but I've extended it until Monday. So Monday the 3rd, if you still order your book before that time, I'm happy to sign your copy if you want me to. How can you order the book? Drop down below this video in the description, there's a link there. You can also go on my website, proarmstrings.com, and you can find it there. Now then, let's have a look in the chat box. Terry says, wanted to know, how about learning to play by ear? That's a good one, Terry. Lots of people want to learn to play by ear. And why is that? Because the songs that you have in your head are fully internalized. So what you might do is start on the middle 2 strings to make it slightly less complicated. If you start on the E string, a song that you know, then it might very quickly go too high for you to be able to play it. So if you start on the D string or on the A string, you have more chance to be able to play it properly. And what you want to do while you play a song by ear is to sing it along in your head. And this singing along in your head is a vital skill for violin players, you see. So that is why this is sort of a circular idea, isn't it? First of all, you want to play by ear. Then when you start to play by ear, you develop that skill of playing by ear and to sing songs in your head much more acutely. So you get better at playing by ear by doing it much more often. So what is a song that you would like to learn? I'll give you an example of how you can do that, how you can learn this. And Linda says, enjoying playing the Irish probably says washerwoman. It doesn't say, but the Irish washerwoman, that is such a lovely song. I wanted to put it in. The Irish washerwoman, can't help jigging around whilst playing. Yeah, that is a nice song to be improvising on as well. Playing by ear, if you like. Excuse me. So yes, that is a good song. So Terry, what song would you like to learn? Hello, Kirsty, she's here. Just got home from work. It may be a little bit later where you live. I believe it's Finland. I believe it is Finland. So maybe, I don't know, are you 2 hours behind the UK in time? So is it 4:30, 4:20 now where you are? Welcome. We were just chatting about playing by ear, which I have a feeling might be something that you might be able to do as well. How do you learn to play by ear? So I'll show you an example. Let's imagine that I want to play. I can say it's my dad's birthday tomorrow, and I want to play him Happy Birthday. It isn't, my dad's birthday is long gone, but just as an example, okay? So we said when you play by ear, start on the middle 2 strings. 422, yeah, that's all right. That's Kirsty. So I'm starting on the D string. So if you've never played this song before, Happy Birthday to you, then give it a go right now. I'm hoping you're having your violin ready, and just give it a go. So you might go. I can imagine some people might say, I have no idea which note it is. Then you're going to have to guess. I'm guessing the 3rd finger. But other people might say, oh no, I'm guessing the 2nd finger. Oh no, that's not it. Oh no, that's not it. How do I know it is the 3rd finger on the A string? I don't know if you know about intervals. Intervals are the distances between 2 notes. So if 2 notes are a tone apart, the interval is a second because there's 2 notes involved. In case of this Happy Birthday song, I happen to know that Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday. That is an octave, they're both D's. If I know it's an octave, if I can hear it's an octave, I can play an octave D, you see. So once you've done it like that, you may play around with it a little bit. And you might think, okay, I'm going to go an octave higher. And Linda, this one may be for... You see, I was just playing it by ear there, and sometimes you don't play the right note, but it doesn't matter. You can then find the right note from there. Terry says, the Pink Panther theme, hard to pick up. My friend asked me to learn to play that theme. How does that go again? If that popped into my head just now. I'm having all the James Bond tunes go through my head right now. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. Give me a second and then the brain will catch up, I think. So Pink Panther. You just caught me out there. I'll have to find it up. I'll have to look it up and find it in one of my books. I know exactly where it is, but I won't do that now and leave you leave you to wait for it. It'll pop into my head and then I'll know it. Anyone else what kind of tune do you want to play off by heart, from memory, played by ear, or have you got any other questions? We're getting some more people in now, so if you have not taken part in this discussion, please do so now. And it's just really nice for other people as well to bounce off other people's ideas. I'm going to look it up now, the Pink Panther theme, because I can't bear it, I can't think of that now. If I can find it. Is it here? No. Here we are. There we are. Luckily. Oh, of course it is. Why didn't I think about that? Now, you start on the D string, Terry, and you start on a D sharp. Like that, isn't it? Oh, it is such a nice tune. Hard to pick up. My friend asked me to learn to play that theme. Have you got your violin ready? If not, just stop the video and you might do that afterwards. After the live stream's ended, stop the video and I'll talk you through. You start the first finger, low first finger on the D string. 1, 1, 1, 1. That's how you begin. That is 2, 3. So you go 1, 1. Now I'll play. Oh, that's not right. See, all those notes are on the D string. Shall we do that again? Are you all playing along wherever you are? That'd be awesome. So we're playing this Pink Panther theme in Finland, in Kent, in Norfolk, and Terry, I think, is California, but I'm not sure. So 1, 1 on the D string. Now 2, 3 on the D string. 1, 1. 2, 3. Now on the A string, 2, 1. On the D string, 1, 3. I'm playing 2, 1 on the A string. Open A now. Open A. 3 on D. 1. None. Texas. There it is. Okay. Okay, I'll do that again in a moment. In Greece as well. You made my day. Hello, Nikolaos. Nice to see you. Okay, so we're all playing Pink Panther today. There's never been a live class where we've done this, so there's a first. Okay, here we go. Shall we do that again? The Pink Panther theme. Texas, are you joining in? Here we go. 1, 1 on the D string and 2, 3. 1, 1. 2, 3. 2, 1. 1, 3. 2, 1. Now you do the exact same thing again. So we're carrying on the song, okay? And. Okay. Now this second section I'll talk you through. So we're starting again. 1, 1. 2, 3. Same thing. 1, 1. 2, 3. 2, 3 on the A string now. 3 on D, 1 on A. 4, 3. And now the same section comes again. 1, 1. 2, 3. 1, 1. 2, 3. 1. There we go. You notice that this third time when it comes is exactly the same as how you played it the first time. What I might do, I'll fiddle about with it, but once... I'm trying to think how I can get you the sheet music. This is the Pink Panther version that is in this book here, First Repertoire for Violin. You can get it from my website. Okay, so if you want it there, I'm trying to think of a way that I can alter this video and include the sheet music, but I'm not sure that I can do it. Now, then, we'll continue the song now, okay? Okay. So now it goes... So I'm doing pizzicato. 4th finger on the A string. 4, 3, 1, A, 3 on D, 1. Okay, and now we go. Oh, that is an awesome section. This section we'll do again from the pizzicato. So if you've missed it, you can join in again. And when you play this video back afterwards, when it's on when the live class is finished and it's on the channel, just stop and start it and learn it off by heart as you go along. So I'm starting the pizzicato. 4th finger on the A string. So I finished 1 on the D string. Did you hear that? Let's do it again. 4, 3, 1, 0. 3, 1 on D. Oh. So B flat here, 1st finger, low 1st finger, and A. Now we're going an octave higher, like I did, exactly like I did. In Happy Birthday, you remember, we varied it a little bit and went an octave up. I'm going on an A sharp, high 1st finger in the 3rd position. If you don't know what the 3rd position is, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just leave this bit out. Okay, so this is the Pink Panther version from the concert repertoire book, First Repertoire book for violin book. But you can work it out from the video by stopping and starting. Okay, so happy practicing, Terry. I am hoping that you're going to impress your friend now. Now, we're going back to the other question that we had and that Kirsty has responded to. Is it easy for you to practice? Or is it hard for you to practice? And when do you practice? Now, when you have a song that you want to work out, like Terry's just suggested, a Pink Panther, it is much easier to get going. So I suggest that you always have your favourite tune that you want to play. Because it's much easier to play the Pink Panther than that you put yourself the near impossible task of playing a scale. B flat major scale or something like that, isn't it? If you think, I need to nail that scale, it's much harder to get going than when you think, first, before I nail the scale, I'm going to play the Pink Panther, you see. So you don't need to be too hard on yourself. That's what I'm saying. And Kirsty rightly suggests practice in the summer when it is hot, and it's much easier to do because people have cold hands, and it's another sort of barrier that you put up for your playing if it's too cold to play. So practice in the summer, but obviously I do understand when people say, but I want to play year round. So does anyone else have another question? I'm hoping that has answered your question, Terry. So if you're not yet a subscriber to the Pro Am Strings YouTube channel, please subscribe today, as in now, because we're aiming for 50,000 subscribers and it's not far off. Where are we? 44.6. So let's hit this 50,000 mark any day now. We're so close. So if you are already a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Even better if you're already a member of Henriette's Violin Club. Thank you for being a member of Henriette's Violin Club. What Henriette's Violin Club does is it provides you with extension material, more in-depth videos about bowing technique, about third position playing, about tonalization. The Suzuki Volume 3 course is very nearly finished now on the silver membership as well. And members help me sustain the channel. So that I can keep making more videos. And so I'm eternally grateful for whoever is a member of Henriette's Violin Club to just provide me with that basic level of support so that I can carry on making these videos. So I'm immensely grateful. If you want to become a member, then click any join now button below any video on the channel, and it will be below this one as well if once this video has been uploaded as a proper video on the channel. And when you click the join now button, it'll take you to, I think, a video that explains all about it, how much it costs. There are 3 different levels, bronze, silver and gold, and they open up different courses for you. So it's just extension material. So Terry says, the Pink Panther, I was told it was in E flat minor. It could be in E flat minor, but this is a version that is in the key of E major. So no, it's not. It is in E minor. So I beg your pardon, not in E flat minor, but E minor. It has 1 sharp in its key signature, and it's sort of an intermediate violin piece. It's not too hard. It's not very easy either. Okay, so good luck to you. Linda, really good question. How do you get a good, clear first note when starting a piece of music? That is very useful question. Thank you for asking it. That depends on what kind of music you're playing, and let's discuss 2 different ways. So one is a note that starts a bit more abrupt. I'm just thinking of what was the easiest way to get you going. And so you might start with your bow on the string and pull the bow away. Okay, so you have some grip. So I'm not actually scraping it, but I'm having some contact on the string, let me put it that way. And then I'm pulling it away gently. So that is one way. So if you go, for instance, this, you see, I'm not flying into this note because that gives me a little crash into the string, you see. So I'm starting on the string and then pull the bow away. Now some pieces start with a note that has not got a prompt start, but it sort of eases into the note, And if that is the case, and that is why I said it depends on what kind of music you're playing, then you come from the air and you ease your note into the music like this. So you get a much more gentle start. And obviously the other alternative would be a really clear start, but then you have to have an accented note. For instance, I have another piece here. See, I need to start up bow and with a well-defined note. So then I start onto the string again. See? If I started it like this, it's not as abrupt, as well defined as another note. But some pieces, more in the singing style, maybe more romantic music, you don't want to start with a very specific moment that the note starts, and you want to ease into that note and let it grow from nothing. And this is why I'm so interested in ski jumping. I may have told you this before. Every New Year's Day I watch the ski jumping, where people jump off a big ski jump and then fly through the air and then coming onto the ground. And it's this landing moment that can tell me so much about violin playing. Look, here's my ski jumper. It's coming nearer the snow, nearer the ground, and I don't want to smash into the ground, you see. So a ski jumper needs that landing to be super smooth, otherwise they will smash their knees, you see. When they fall out of the sky and bang into the ground, that's not very good and healthy for you. So the violin does that as well. Look, I'm coming closer. I'm looking here, by the way, because it's easier to see. I'm getting closer and closer and closer. I'll try not to talk now when I do it, and then you can hear how smoothly it eases, the tone eases from the string. Can you hear that? So I'm looking, and you get an even better result, Linda, when you breathe out while you do that. So you're relaxing and you let that bow gently come down into the string. You see? You can practice that. Breathe in when you go up with your arm through the air, and now breathe out as you come closer. You see? Breathe out when you come closer. So those are the smooth starts of notes when you ease into the string, like a ski jumper, like I said. But if you need a well-defined note, then start with your bow on the string. Look, if I ease this into the first note, see, I can't really define it exactly when it's going to start. So it doesn't work with really well-defined notes at the start. It only works with more lyrical pieces, more in a singing style. I hope that answers your question. Right, anyone else has a question? Terry, Vivaldi's Spring, working on the first 6 bars. How was your trip to the Netherlands again? Is that what you want to play? Now, Vivaldi's Spring, I think my brain has gone to mush while I was in the Netherlands. It's in my book as well, Vivaldi's Spring. I'm going to have to find that as well. I beg your pardon. It starts on a G sharp, I know that for sure. Oh, my goodness me, what's happened? Concertos. It's right here because I play it all the time. Okay, of course. Okay, okay. That is your piece, Terry. Now, this is a typical piece where you need to start on the string. So I'm starting at the upper half of the bow, okay, and I'm going into the string with my bow before I start. Oh. You see, my bow hasn't actually left the string at all during those first, what is it? Is that 6 bars? 4, 5, 6. Yes. So this is completely different to the example that I gave Linda earlier when you ease the bow into the string. But I'm going to now start on the string with my bow when I play the up bow. So you get a really nice, well-defined bow. Now what I do here as well, I don't know if you can see. Like I said, I can't see myself, so what my point is, look at my bow hand. So I'm squeezing the bow into the string just gently. You see, maybe. Oh yes, I can see it now on playback. So if you were watching my, yeah, and there is a delay in when I see my own screen. You see, so you see it after me. So I couldn't see that I was actually with my bow pushing that first note into the string, and that's what you want to do. That's it. And my bike ride was really, really, really fun. We did 235 kilometers on one day, and I finished it. I can't believe it, but it was a lovely day with one big storm while we were just having lunch. And then we just waited out the storm for the second half of the day. So that was lucky. Other than that, it was beautiful weather, not too much wind. So that helped a lot. And yeah, it was really good fun. Thank you for asking. So we're going to round up this lesson in a moment. So if you have one more question, you may do that. You may ask that question now, and then we'll finish. So if you have any more questions, please ask them now. And remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Remember to become a member of Henriette's Violin Club if you want to do that for more extension material. Like I said, lots of sorry. There was just another message coming in that distracted me. Lots of different tunes, different styles of tunes for you to enjoy. No, sorry, I'm in two conversations now. Sorry. So the membership, there is lots of extension material. Like I said, there's bowing technique. There is the third position. There is Suzuki Volume 3. There is tonalization. When you get into Henriette's Violin Club, the introduction video, it tells you exactly what is in which group. And then if you're interested in buying my book, here it is again. Lots of varied tunes in there. Lots of classical tunes, lots of more popular tunes, lots of Disney, lots of film tunes. If this is for you, then if you buy it this weekend, until Monday, I will sign your copy if you ask me to. So do write a little note with your order. Sign my book, please, and your name or the name of the person you're buying the book from. Then I will personally sign it for you. So thank you very much for joining this live class, and I will see you probably, most likely, fingers crossed, on the 28th of June at 2 p.m. in the next one. Lovely to see you, everyone, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.